today's video is my review of the Hornby HM6000 app-based analog controller for model trains. Now, I haven't heard of anyone having this in Sri Lanka, so is it possible that I am the first one in Sri Lanka to have one of these? I am in touch with the wider model railroading community in Sri Lanka, of which there are over 150 people known, and so far nobody else has claimed to have it, despite me asking about it in various forums and posting my experiences and all that. So this might just be the first HM6000 in Sri Lanka, and I might be doing the first Sri Lankan review of one. Well, I haven't found anything else on YouTube, so I guess I can say yes, first Sri Lankan review of the Hornby HM6000. First of all, before I start this video properly, big shout out to Ratindra Kuruvita for bringing this down from the UK for me. I finally got it in 2024. I first saw this product in 2021, but it was between this or a bunch of Gaugemaster Combis for my layout. I chose the Gaugemaster Combis. They've been fantastic. In fact, little spoiler alert, they still are. They have the edge over this, I believe. I'll tell you why in my conclusion. But around May of this year again, I was just browsing around online and I thought, hey, why not give this thing a shot? So purchased it from him, had it sent over to Ratindra in London. He brought it down in July, and here it is. Now the first thing I should say is, this is not everything you need to use the app-based analog control system. You also need this, the Hornby transformer. And I've said this multiple times in the video because I have recorded the unboxing and the testing and all that, but I'm going to say it at the start again. Hornby, bundle these together. Don't be cheap, because not everyone already has a transformer lying around, nor do they want to spend extra money on one. I just bought this thing because I wanted to give it a try and I was really interested in the product. Others might just walk away. So moving away from that little niggle, let's see what this offers. Okay, control 2 separate track circuits. That's one of the headline features for me because I have 2 main loops. This was more than enough because, well, I wanted something where, if you've seen my layout, it has a central well where you've got to duck under the layout and go into the central well to operate the controls. But I'm a bit lazy, I can perfectly go under and all that stuff. It's fine. I can go under the layout and go there. I do it on a daily basis to run trains for my son, but I wanted something a little convenient, you see. So what I did is I hooked up a pair of double pole, double throw switches, which allowed me to switch between the Gaugemaster and this. So now I can just stand outside my layout with my phone, which will have to run what is known as the HMDC app, and control the 2 trains on the main line. Well, at least that's what I can do right now. If I motorize the points and get the optional HM6010, I believe that's the accessory controller, I can do motorized point control as well. But for now, this review is about the HM6000. Now, if you want to know more about it, you can Google it. That's what I did, because despite this t-shirt, my wife is not really into model trains. So there are some things that I have to Google. So there you are. Next up, the unboxing and the tests. And it has some pretty cool sounds, so you might want to watch this video all the way to the end to see what they are. Stay tuned. Right, so here is our unboxing of the HM6000 app circuit control system. Before that, few things on the box. Okay, pair with HMDC app, Google Play, Apple Store, both are there. It says Bluetooth as well, Bluetooth DC app circuit control unit, and in a variety of languages there too. Controls 2 separate track circuits. That's what I'm interested in the most. Inside the box, one white box, which I'm assuming is the decoder, the unit, one instruction sheet. Requires wall plug mains transformer P9100 within brackets UK, not included. Okay, so we don't get the transformer with this thing. Little cheap, Hornby. Would have expected you to bundle it in. Should have done that. Then it's a complete system, that's plug and play. Thankfully, I did buy the transformer as well. Curiously, the transformer is actually more expensive than this. Another little interesting fact for you there. The sides have a QR code for the app. That's very useful. Thank you for that. On the back, we've got some specs. Controls 2 circuits, control 1 locomotive per circuit. Yeah, that's traditional DC for you there. Speed control, yes, we'd expect that. Includes 18 individual locomotive sounds. Now these play through your phone, are made to understand. Track builder, which is an app. Control up to 8 circuits. Additional HM6000 controllers required. Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough. 2 circuits to start with is more than enough, and it's anyway what I have got. So let's open the box. Okay, we've got fairly easy to open box. We've got the slide out tray, it's coming out very nicely. Here we are, let's keep the box aside. First things first, what have we got here? Okay, getting to know your controls. Place an analog locomotive. Okay, it's giving you all the instructions how to do it, example layout representation. Let's open this massive thing, let's see. Okay, finger to drag the speed slider, does it match direction? Okay, all those things are there, fine. There's even a drilling template because you can mount this on the bottom of your baseboard. Now here we go, getting to know it. Okay, power, Bluetooth, reset button, where to plug the transformer, the track outputs, all those things are there. Quick start guide, ensure power LED solid red, sorry for bumping the camera there, all those usual things. Let's get that aside. What's this? CC declaration of conformity. Okay, that's fine. What's this? Yeah, we've got a fair bit of literature, haven't we? But not okay, so it just tells you quick start guide. Yeah, that's useless too. Got everything that remains is the decoder itself. Now we can see, I don't know if we can call this a decoder or a controller. I think I'll say controller from now on. Track 1, track 2, hardwired. Okay, I would have liked to see separate connectors there. It makes the thing a little less durable than I'd otherwise like it to be. Not seeing any controls or buttons on the front. I'm guessing that grill there is for heat dissipation, given that this is effectively 2 model train controllers in a tiny box. You've got the LEDs there. 15 volt DC input. There's the little reset thing that we were told about, and the specifications say 12 volts, made in China. At the end here you've got these pins which, sorry for bumping once again, terminate in track clips. I'm going to have to do a bit of wiring to those because my system is not wired to use this kind of pin solution. So that's the HM6000 unit for you. Very quickly, let's have a look at the transformer. Okay, very straightforward Hornby box there. Here we are. There's nothing else in there, but then you don't really need any information, right? It's a transformer. So here we are, 13 amp socket. It's a bit lighter than I'd expect, to be honest, given how hefty my Gaugemaster transformers are. But this thing is rated for, okay, 220, 240 volts on the primary, secondary 15 volts out DC, 1 amp, making 15 watts. Okay, that's fine, all pretty standard stuff. So what happens is, I'm guessing this plugs in there and these go to your tracks, and then when this thing is powered up we should see some activity. Okay, let's just try on camera for the very first time. Let's see if this thing will work. I've got a power strip right under my table here, so I'm going to leave the unit there facing you. I'm going under the table now to plug it in. Okie dokie, plugging it in, switching it on, and little anticlimactic, don't you think? Nothing has happened, but oh wait, it's switched off at the main wall plug. Okay, there we go. We see some lights. In the meantime, let's see what happens now. Okay, so we've got a solid red light. Let me go back and get my mobile phone. Right, so I've got my phone here. Let's unlock it. Let's open up and let's go to HMDC. Oh, silly me, I need to put the Bluetooth on. Let's do that. Okay, now let's see how to do. You can see my layout is showing there too. I built it in Track Builder earlier. So let's go to this. Okay, no devices set up. Tap to get started. Okay, device settings. Okay, let's see, how do we pair a device with this thing? Start scan, and almost immediately we see an HM6000 appearing there. Okay, please wait for it. Okay, now let's link the device, and you can see the blue Bluetooth light has come on there as well. So provisioning failed. Okay, why? Starting link, attempting to provision it to your network. Linking. Still says linking. Let's see what's going on here. Saved and linked provisioning device. Okay, so it's now linked. Let's go here. Still saying no devices set up. Why is that? There we go, you got to go there. Okay, so we've got circuit 1, circuit 2, we've got the speed, we've got the inertia, we've got the sound profile. Let's see if we can hear anything, shall we? I have just started the circuit and I'm not hearing anything. Let's maybe take it up to maximum. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's rather nice. Okay, if I hit the stop button, it stops. So we have got the guard's whistle. Okay, let's go back there and let's set the sound profile to diesel. Now let's see what we've got. Brake squeal. Very nice. And I'm sure you'll notice that we've got a massive thing saying emergency stop. That stops everything, but your sounds remain on. So that stops everything. You can resume as well. Let's hit stop there and stop there. Okay, so still I don't know. Accessories, no devices set up. Okay, that's fine. So we've got my layout. Interesting, I must say, quite interesting. Looking forward to using this thing. So that's the next step. Now we have got the setup done after initial hiccup. Let's move on to connecting this into my layout and let's have a look at it. Stay tuned. Right, so I've got the HM6000 set up in my layout room now. Basically I've wired it with the track where I can use either that or my two Gaugemaster Combis to control the layout via a set of double pull, double throw switches. This is a really good way to connect more than one control solution to your layout. Many modelers who run DCC layouts and have DC controllers as well would also use this solution. You may have noticed that while I'm talking this part, I'm moving the screen in the HMDC app. That's because if the screen times out, your trains stop. So without further ado, I've got everything hooked up now, which wasn't that easy. It was a bit of a palaver. Had to figure out a few things for myself, but now things are working and let's get the Flying Scotsman moving, shall we? So there we are. You can see it has taken off at a fairly decent clip at 44%. Now let me show you what happens if I lock my phone. Did you see that? Rather abrupt, don't you think? I mean, I don't know if there's a setting to disable this kind of behavior, but Hornby, this is not very acceptable. I'm running the latest version of the app, the latest firmware for the HMDC as well, which I updated via the app, which was seamless. That was a very good process, but this is not good. You know, when my phone locks, be it manually or automatically, my train should not stop. So let me unlock my phone again with my fingerprint and you can see it just takes off again. Not really that cool. Let's get circuit 2 working, shall we? And that is going to be Intercity 125, which is going to come on your screens. It's just doing a loop around my layout. It's moving a bit faster, and that one I have wired it a bit incorrectly, so even though the direction says it's going that way, it's actually moving that way. That is actually a very simple fix. In fact, Hornby themselves say how to address that in the instructions itself. They say just swap the wires around. Now, because of the way I've wired my layout, I could not use the connectors that came with this, so well, I've cut them off. I don't mind that because anyway my layout does not use typical Hornby track connectors. My track power feeds are soldered to the track itself, so I had no second thoughts about taking a scissor to those connectors and incorporating the whole system with my DP-DT switch mechanism so that I can use my Gaugemaster controllers as well as my HMDC. You can just about see it down there. You can see the two Gaugemaster Combis over there and the HMDC. You can see the light is blinking, the red power light is blinking, but the blue Bluetooth light is steady. It has to be steady to say that you've got a good connection with the track. So let's see the Flying Scotsman come around. There we go. And it just stopped, and you can see why it has stopped. because my phone just locked itself. Very frustrating behavior, I must say, and I need to see whether there's a way to disable this, because see, the moment you unlock the phone, the train just takes off like a Hell's Angel. I mean, let me just bring it to a stop there. Another thing I've been having a bit of issues with is the sounds. Now let me show you what I mean. I'm going to crank the volume up on my phone all the way to max. I'm going to take the D&D mode off. I use that always at night. It's very good practice. That way people can't disturb you at night. Let's switch on the sound for the Steam loco. I hope you can hear that. It's quite crappy quality, to be honest, but then that's probably my phone speaker too. Let's get the Flying Scotsman moving. Okay, you can see it's chuffing along. Now I have cranked it up a bit. I hope you can hear that. Let's whistle again. And let's see what else we've got here. Brake squeal. That's the guard's whistle. So you've got loco whistle, guard's whistle, loco whistle, guard's whistle, brake squeal, and you've got some other noises as well. So that is the sound for the Flying Scotsman. Let's switch that off, because if I'm being perfectly honest, it's not very enjoyable, this level of sound fidelity coming through my phone speaker. So I'm going to just stop the Flying Scotsman at my station there where I usually stop it. Let's fire up the Intercity and see what the sounds on that is like. Okay, let's get some. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh, very nice. It's a very nice horn. I don't know if you can hear that. My Intercity has stopped though, maybe because it needs a bit more throttle. There we go. We have two horns. That was one. Here's the other one. We've got brake squeal. We've got something else, and coupling sounds. So yeah, pretty nice, but I'm going to bring the Intercity to a stop here. I'm going to stop it right over there so that you can see it, and well, let's just try the sounds again. The two horns, brakes, oh, the sound of wagons clickety clacking over the track. Very nice. And finally, coupling. In the Steam era, we have, of course, I showed you the two whistles. I'll just play them again. We have, then you have that, brakes, the guard's whistle. Now you can actually go to the settings thing here, where you can see for your circuits you can set minimum maximum speed ranges, inertia for acceleration and deceleration. To be honest, I set the inertia, but I didn't see a massive difference. So maybe I should try a newer locomotive, because this Intercity is a, I believe it's an early 90s era set or 1980s era, I forget, but I did a video on it. Let's for a moment change the sound profile from diesel to electric, and let's see what we've got. So we've changed to electric now. Okay, so yeah, that's an electric locomotive. Sounds like a vacuum cleaner, I guess. Yep, it just about sounds like the vacuum cleaner in my house. Let's see the horns. Very nice. Brakes. Another one that also looks like brakes. Oh, air brakes, okay. Then this. and then a bell. That's the horn. I rather like the horn sounds on this. So what Hornby have told us is that there is 18 sounds in this thing, and I think now we know how they get 18. You've got 6 steam sounds, 6 diesel sounds, and 6 electric sounds. So you can see in the system overview there, I've got my layout which I painstakingly made. It's not easy to make it on a phone, although the pieces do click into place, so that's a bit helpful. Then you've got your settings here which I spoke about earlier. You can see you can define minimum maximum speed ranges, so that's really useful to stop your trains from racing off. And then if you go here, this is where you actually control everything. Note that everything at the bottom is just icons. Until you click something, you don't know why it is. So that looks like a house, so it's home obviously. The 2 cross spanners is set up. The meter is control. Then these 2 sliders is accessories. Now I don't have an accessory decoder, or if I did, then we would be able to see things here. Accessory decoders for this allow you to control things like points, which is really useful for me down the line, because right now I can only just operate 2 trains on the main line from outside my layout. And the whole point of this was, apart from being a fun thing for me to operate my layout from outside the central well, which I can do now to a certain degree. Now this is design. This is where I made my layout, you can see. And the final one is settings. Now you can see my device is provisioned. You've got connect, disconnect buttons for it. If I go back out of saved devices, you've got a bit more options there. Slider behavior, Bluetooth mode, speed slider customization, all those things. Update firmware, very useful. Shop, visit Hornby, FAQs, contact us. Okay, I guess they got to do a bit of marketing as well. But yeah, I mean, so far it's a fairly okay product, I've got to say. What I've noticed is the locos do hum a bit more than with my Gaugemasters. That's because of the pulse width modulation, I suppose. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, control is what you'd expect for it to be. Now let's just have the Flying Scotsman setting off again. There it goes. Once again, very good slow speed control even with this. Of course, you can't really match the slow speed of a Gaugemaster, but I mean, this comes close, I've got to say. Let's just get the intensity also out of the way there. Notice how I've got to give it a fair bit more throttle, and it's stuttering a bit. I need to see why that is. I'm guessing it's something to do with dirty wheels. This Intercity does seem to get its wheels dirty quite a lot, even though I clean the track quite often. So I'm just gonna now bring the Flying Scotsman to a stop out of view at the station. I'm a bit OCD in that aspect. I park my trains at the station or on a siding. Hey, each of us to their own, right? But yeah, I mean, overall, I'd say this is it's a novel, it's a quirky product, it's interesting, it's got some really cool features, like for example the ability to control your trains from a phone or a tab. That's very important to note. Hornby does recommend using it with a tab as well, and I think using it with a tab would be far easier than with a phone, because like I showed you, it's a little fiddly. I wish the sliders like these, I wish these speed sliders here were a little bit bigger, so that you could move them a bit more. Maybe even a dial would have been nice. Heck, I mean, if Hornby can give us themes, that'll be good. My biggest gripe with this app right now is, well, you can see my phone just screen dimmed, which means it's gonna go off soon, and that's my biggest gripe with it. I should not have to keep my phone screen alive for my trains to keep running. So here we are. I'm using a Bluetooth speaker. This is my Anker Soundcore 3, which I have also reviewed on this channel. So first let's see how the diesel horns sound like. Okay. And the coupling sound. Okay, let's get the diesel engine sound. Whoa, that's quite loud. Okay, that caught me by surprise, I must say. Well, let's get the locomotive underway then, shall we? Well, quite interesting. Let's bring the fellow to a stop before, Okay, so the engine, or rather the engine sound does change with throttle, but being Bluetooth, there is noticeable lag. So let's switch off the diesel sounds and let's have a look at the steam engine. First of all, let's get the guard's whistle. Okay, I need to turn the volume up a bit more, I suppose. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay, a little bit loud there, yes, definitely loud. Steam engine, and let's get the Flying Scotsman moving. Here it comes. Let's crank up the speed a bit. So we've got all the other sounds sounding quite nice. So there you are, that's the sound factor of things. What I really don't understand though is why is the sound volume so inconsistent? Like for example, let's try the whistle. Okay. You can see the diesel horn is much softer than the steam whistle, and some of the sounds are much louder than others. I mean, the guard's whistle is almost rivaling the steam whistle, and then when you switch on the diesel engine, I mean, now it's idling quite nicely. Let's sound the horn. I mean, you can see the horn is just noticeable over the sound of the engine, which in real life I don't think that will be the case, because you want people to hear the horn. You want not the engine to be the predominant sound. Even the steam locomotive, I mean, now the engine in the loco is parked, so what is that sound? Okay, fine, it could be the boiler, it could be some steam being let off, I guess some things like that, but it just sounds like a bit like white noise to me. And when you get started, yes, there is chuffing, but the chuffing doesn't seem to match with the speed of the engine. So that's another little thing I noticed. And also, I mean, I'm playing it through a fairly good quality Bluetooth speaker, and I'm still not that blown away by the sound quality. It could be a lot better. It should be a lot better. Okay, time for the conclusion. And yes, I'm in the same clothes because it is just 5 minutes after I recorded the intro section. Like I told you, I recorded the unboxing and those things at a different date at a different time. That also means that I've been using the HM6000 for about a week now. And that has given me a fairly good impression of what it can do. The biggest gripe for me is that I never could find out a way to stop that behavior where the trains stop whenever my phone locks. The only way to stop that is to disable the screen lock on my phone and have the screen permanently on, which is annoying because, well, when you're using your phone like a mobile phone, you prefer it to lock its screen after a while if you forget it. Here, it's never going to do that if you keep that setting off. So purely for this, you're going to have to keep moving something on the screen or tapping the screen or whatever to keep it alive. So for me, that's the biggest gripe with this product. Other than that, I mean, another thing I noticed is that the slow speed control of this is nowhere close to what the Gaugemasters can do. I think that's because of the PWM. The PWM on this, despite the fact that there are 4 PWM levels you can pick from, none of them really seem to work that well. And I've been using older 1980s era Hornby made in Britain stuff, as well as the newer 2010 era Hornby made in China stuff. So I mean, either way, this is something that it's like vanilla ice cream, you don't really, it won't push you to go for it over any other thing, but it's not terrible either. It's a very average product in my opinion. If Hornby rectifies some of those shortcomings, and if they bundle a transformer in, for God's sake, I shouldn't have to buy this thing extra, then it can be quite neat actually. if you don't care about slow speed control or shunting accuracy, that is. But for me, I mean, I'm going to use this thing as a toy because I like the sounds. I like the fact that I can sometimes be lazy and not go under my layout through the central well to control my trains. But if I were to pick a percentage of times I'd use this or the Gaugemaster, 70-30. 70% of the time Gaugemasters, 30% of the time this. So there you are, my candid review of the Hornby HM6000. I think it's the first one in Sri Lanka, I'm not sure 100%. And I'm definitely sure it's the first Sri Lankan review of an HM6000 though. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're considering buying it, well, I hope this video has given you a lot to think about either way. So thanks for watching. Check out my model train videos in the playlist and subscribe. Have a great day.